Wrightsville Beach.
Yeah, so I go visit my friends in Wilmington, and there are a ton of Yankee fans out there.
Yeah. It's a transplant city down here. I mean, you know, everyone's leaving New York. It's all screwed up. So they're coming down here.
That's true. It does look like Long Island over there. It really does.
Yeah.
And the restaurants there are fantastic.
Yeah.
Really fantastic. And the water over there, it's beautiful. It really is. Definitely a sight to see. But, you know, there's a lot of Yankee fans over there, and I'm very surprised that, you know, baseball isn't as popular over there as you would expect. I mean, who do we talk to? The minor league baseball guy that owned the Charlotte. Charlotte
Rick
team.
something. Yeah, a while back. Yeah, the Charlotte Bats, I think it was.
Yes.
Was his team. Yeah, he's trying to advocate for baseball in Charlotte. It was Rick something. I forget his last name.
Yeah, and we had him on the show, and he was, you know, really tallying with us. And what I mean by tallying is it's like. He's like, baseball's growing down here. I was like, really? It's growing down there? I went down there to Charlotte.
I don't know how they could support it. It was, you know, it's always. I wish they would have it here. We have a AAA team that does very well from an attendance standpoint. But you to the north, you got Washington and Baltimore. To the south, you got Atlanta, and everyone here is an Atlanta fan.
I was just about to say that. Every time I was out there, I saw Atlanta Braves hats all over the place. I'm like, where the hell am I? I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta. So it's crazy over there.
They have some minor league teams in South Carolina, I think, too. So that's a carried over.
But the minor leagues are huge right here. There's a lot within the state of North Carolina, too. I mean, shoot, you got the Durham Bulls, you got Kannapolis, you got a lot of really good talent in some of the smaller towns down here in the South.
Last question for me. How are you over there? I mean, do you like Charlotte? Is it something interesting? I know you're from, obviously, Speedy's way. Speedy is from Connecticut, just like you. So it's crazy. I'm from Long Island, and Speedy moved down over here to work with me and learn the game of radio. But what is it like moving down to Charlotte? I heard it's a beautiful city. I've been there once at an event. I'm a DJ, so I've been out to an event over there. It's beautiful over there, the city. What are your thoughts to the city and the life over there from where you're from?
I love Charlotte. It's a young town, both demographically and the city trying to figure itself out. You know, it's trying to figure its identity out. You know, New York's got its identity. Miami, California, whatever city in California, Chicago, they all have their identity. Charlotte's still getting there. They don't have a food that's super popular. You know, barbecue obviously to a degree, but that's more of kind of on the outskirts of Charlotte, to be honest, because Charlotte itself is such a transplant city. So many New Yorkers here, you know, so many Cowboys fans here.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, there's just people coming from honestly, a lot of major cities are coming here because it hasn't been kind of all screwed up quite yet. And so they're coming here, and it doesn't have that identity because of it. And that's why there's not a ton of Panther fans here because they've only been around for 25 years, and everyone here has their team. No matter who it might be, whether it's when the Seahawks were here, they filled the stadium. When the Vikings are here, they filled the stadium. Browns filled the stadium. There's just people here from everywhere. But now we have the MLS, and I wasn't an MLS guy, but no one has an MLS team, and so everyone here now is all on board with Charlotte FC, and those games are a mess. They're a zoo. They're so much fun. Win, lose, draw, no matter what. The fan base is insane, and it is so much fun. Just a huge party. So I love it down here. I could do without the 96 consistently throughout the summer, but I love it down here. Weather is generally great. You're close to the water. You're close to Asheville in the mountains, so you get a little bit of everything. And it's a really, really fun town and some really good restaurants too.
All right, my last question, you being my fellow Connecticut Rangers fan, what is your best experience you've had as a Rangers fan, in person, if you got to meet any players, and also expectations for this season coming up?
I think this question, I wouldn't have known how to answer it until my wife looked at me. I came home, during the playoff run, and she goes, Game 7, you want to go? I was like, I mean, yeah, I want to go. Do you want to go? You don't have to convince me. I got to now convince you that this was your idea. You know this. So we ended up going to Game 7 against the Penguins, that overtime winner. And it was me, her, and two buddies. And it was the most unbelievable sporting event. I went to the 2001 World Series against the Diamondbacks when Scott Brosius hit that home run. I was at the game when Derek Jeter dove into the stands against the Red Sox. So that game against the Penguins, Game 7 this year, was unbelievable. You just couldn't reenact how loud and insane the Garden was that night.
Well,
and I love him this year, but I get scared because like last year came out of nowhere. Like that run was pretty awesome. And even though we lost, I was like, that was just the greatest run ever because it was unexpected.
Yeah.
And now I expect it. So it's cup or bust, right? Like now, because next year was supposed to be our year. Last year wasn't really supposed to be our year. Next year's really supposed to be it. So guess we'll find out.
Well,
maybe Vincent Trocheck, your former player, will save the day.
Yeah, I mean, I love Vinny because we got to have something. Like, we can't lose every face-off all the time.
Yeah, except they got rid of Kopp, who was actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, Kopp was, exactly. Where'd he go?
I think the Rangers got worse this offseason. They got better.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all right. There'll be less open nets missed because Ryan Strom's not on the team anymore.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's an ex-Islander, so I'm not going to brag about that. But I never liked Ryan Strome as an Islander, and I laughed at some of the Ranger fans that told me, you gave up a stud. A stud of what? I mean, a guy that fans on an open net? Good luck on that. I mean, seriously. But I know a lot of the Ranger fans now, after seeing that playoff series, they almost throw up. But listen, I am not a Ranger fan, as everybody knows, and I love the excitement for Ranger fans, but
good for the city.
Yeah, it's good for the city. Unfortunately, I'm not from the city. But I love Ranger fans because I love going back and forth. I'll tell you something quickly. Every year I go out with my friend, the Beeve, and we call him the Beeve. We go out to Ranger and Islander games. So I will not go to Madison Square Garden because if I go to Madison Square Garden, I probably am going to get locked up because Ranger fans, they just, I'm not one to hold back, okay? I wear my Islander hat. I wear my Islander jersey. I don't fear any of these Ranger fans. But for some reason, they nitpick me and they do stupid things. And I tell my friend, he's like, let's go to Madison. I say, I'm not going to Madison Square Garden with you, or you're going to be nailing me out of that jail cell because I am going to be sitting there, maybe up for murder, because I'm going to be jumping on one of these Ranger fans and choking them. But we go to the UBS. We haven't got to the UBS. We go to the Nassau Coliseum. This past year was the first year we didn't go to the game because it was the first year of the UBS. But we're going to the only Ranger Islander game at UBS this year. And I told him straight out, if the Rangers beat the Islanders this year, I am going to take you, because we're going to be right by the glass, and I'm going to throw you over the glass like the Panther fans did with the Rats when the year of the Rat was. And he says, well, that's harshful and all this other stuff.
Aggressive.
I can't fathom the Ranger fans. They're just like, not saying you. I'm not saying Speedy.
It's all right with me.
I'm not taking shots. Like, Speedy is a realist. He's real Ranger fan. Ranger fans don't like Speedy because he is a realist. I think that Ranger fans they always look at the bright side of things when they should also look at the things that they have to look at. And in the offseason, losing Cobb in the offseason, losing the players that they lost. They lost, what's his name again?
Vetrano.
I thought they were going to keep Vetrano, man. I thought that they were going to.
I would have been fine with just keeping Cobb and then signing Trocheck, too. Then you have two face-off guys.
You lost Cobb.
They couldn't keep them both,
lost Vetrano. You lost all these different guys. And Mott, you're probably going to lose, even though he's not signed with anybody. And Ranger fans still think that he's going to sign with them. I don't think he is, but whatever. They're probably going to lose Mott, and he was a big part and a factor in the second half of the season for him. I think the Rangers are worse than they were last year, and we'll see because that division is really good. I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen because I expect all those teams except Pittsburgh to be better this year. Yeah. So
I don't expect Pittsburgh to be good, but it's like, why would you ever expect that? You know, it's so irritating.
I love you, man. I love you, man. It's great. We really appreciate you joining us, as always, giving us the time, and hope for the best. And we'll have you on the show very, very soon. We're hoping that you enjoyed coming on this show, as always, and keep up the good work, man. We love what you're doing.
Man, I appreciate you, boys. This was a blast. This was so much fun. Love to come on anytime. I love just the authentic talk.
Well, awesome. As everybody knows, we were just talking to Fox Sports live host and reporter Will Kunkel, and I actually pronounced his name right. There you go.
Yeah, not Kunkel.
Listen, man, you're the one who wrote it down. I'm just trying to pronounce it.
And I spelled it out just as he spelled it when he messaged me. So.
Wow. All right. So I blame it on me. It's my fault. It's always my fault, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there you go. But Will's awesome. He really is. We've had some great guests. Speedy, you're finding some good guests.
Yes,
great guests.
And now I have one that's a Connecticut Rangers fan too.
There you go. A really big Canadian. I'm sorry. I almost said Canadian fan. By the way, it's so funny. The Canadians in Canada, they're taking away the vaccination thing in October, so you do not need a vaccination to go to sports games anymore. So
already?
they're taking that away already, which is crazy.
Good. So Mark Kanica playing the
This is
hypothetical
when
Mets
I
Blue
bow
Jays
out.
World Series.
This is when I bow out. Thanks, boys. I appreciate you. Gotta get ready for our show here.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark.
Have a great show,
Thank you,
Will.
Will. Thank you,
Thank
Will.
you.
See you, boys.